Yoyam svabhavo logasya sukha dukkha samanvitaha songadyabhinaya upetaha natyamityabhidhiyate natyamityabhidhiyate.
Today, India has the proud distinction of having as many as 7 scientifically developed classical dance styles, each having its own individuality, yet all having their origins in a fabulous and dynamic dance tradition which arose out of the plethora of dances practiced by the innumerable tribes from prehistoric times. Bharatanatyam Kuchipudi Odissi Mohini Attam Kathakali Kathak Manipuri This hoary tradition resulted more than 2000 years ago in highly systematic and scientific dance code, the Natya Shastra, science of dramaturgy attributed to the legendary sage Bharata. The word Natya in the Indian context is not to be taken as drama as we understand it today. Natya is to be taken as total theatre, which includes dance, songs, and instrumental music. So dance is also considered to be a Natya, and the rules of the Natya Shastra guiding Natya are also to be applied to dance. Flowers bloom in the hands of a dancer, and the bees fly off from the tips of the fingers. The body sways, now in pride and now in devotion. Each muscle of the face transforms, now in anger, now in sorrow, now in laughter. The eyes beckon in blandishment or snap in scorn. The eyebrows express disgust or surprise. Such is the miracle of Indian dance. The Natya Shastra itself was compiled by taking into consideration the different practices prevalent in this vast country of ours, which was even then a subcontinent. Bharata compiled the practices of these different areas and then codified the Natya Shastra. In the succeeding millennia, each ethnic group, today's states, took whatever was pertinent to it for its social ambience and especially the geometric way in which the music and dance of its area developed. As such, we have today so many classical dance styles. And each style has subsequently followed some of the texts which succeeded Bharata, like Abhinaya Darpana of Nandikeshwara, Sangeeta Ratnakara of Sharangadeva, or Balarama Bharatam of Balarama Varma. Also in each region, there were texts in its own language. Thus today we have a rich storehouse of the entire tradition, which is called the Natya Shastric tradition, which has given rise to diversity in unity of Indian classical dances. The technique of this art consists of 4 abhinayas, enactment. The first is Angika, to do with body movements. The second is Vachika, to do with spoken words, songs, and music. The third is Aharya, to do with makeup, costume, and stage properties. And the fourth is Satvika, to do with psychological and emotional states of human beings in general. Human anatomy does not permit a person to move his hands and feet without the other parts of the body also moving in coordination. Bharata divides the human body into 6 angas, the major limbs, and 6 upangas, the minor limbs, situated in the face, eyes, eyebrows, eyelids, cheeks, nose, and lips. Angika Abhinaya very naturally deals with the activities and movements of the upangas and angas. Bharata prescribes definite patterns of movements for the upangas, like Brahmana, or the round movement of the eyeballs, which can be used as accompaniment to dance movements. Valana, the oblique movement, which is used here to enhance the depiction of buzzing bees. Or Vivartana, the sidelong glance, which is used here to mark the rhythmic cycle of the item. The brow or eyebrow movements used to express moods, like Chatura, eyebrows moved up and down pleasingly in love. Kunchita, the contracted eyebrows to express blandishment, invitation, or desire. Rechita, either eyebrow raised used here to depict suspicion or surprise. The movements of eyelids to enhance moods. Nimesha, bringing together the eyelids in Raudra or angry mood. Prasrita, spreading wide the eyelids in horror. Movements of nasa, nose or nostrils, to denote activities. Nata, the lobes clinging for a while, as in smelling a flower. Sochvasa, while drawing in air, used here to express grief. Movements of ganda or cheeks. Kampita, throbbing cheeks, to express envious anger. Movements of adhara, lips. Samudgaka, contracting the lips together, used here to denote kissing. Kampana, pulling down the lips, used here to denote apprehension. When the coordinated movements of the upangas are used correctly in the context of a particular mood or situation, they depict the human moods or sentiments, like done here, bibhatsa, that is disgust, intolerance, derision, etc.
सम्यक् अभिनेय तस्य
The six angas, major limbs, are shira, head, vaksha, chest, parshva, side, kati, waist or hip, hasta, hand, pada, leg. Movements of the head. Kampita, fast movement up and down. Parivahita, alternately bent to the sides. Vaksha or chest movements. Prishtachala vaksha, the chest drawn in. Konachala vaksha, the oblique movement of the chest. Parshva or side movements. Anata, fully bent on one side. Valita, front to back or back to front movement of the side. Movements of the kati, waist or hip. Tribhanga kati, maximum bent. Katilagna, rounded movement of the waist. Out of these, the gestures of hands have received great elaboration in all the texts. These hand gestures are called hastas and can be performed by one hand, asamyuta, or both the hands, samyuta. These hastas and their usages constitute the alphabet and language of dance. The usages of the Pataka hasta are Natyarambe, beginning of dance. Vari Vahe, clouds. Vane, forest. Vastu Nishedhane, to negate. Kuchasthale, chest. Nishayam cha, night. Nadyam, river. Amara Mandale, sky. Usages of Kapita Hasta, Lakshmi Devi, Saraswati Devi, to hold the symbols of the dance master, to milk a cow, to apply kajal, to hold a flower sportively. Usages of Karkata Hasta, to be performed by both the hands. To show a crowd. Abdomen. To sound the shankha. To stretch the limbs. To bend down a branch. The hastas can be used to represent objects like a flower, or eyes, or animals like elephant, or serpent. They also represent gods, such as Krishna by his flute, Rama by his bow and arrow, and Shiva Nataraja by his famous Tandava pose. The hastas play a very supportive role in depiction of moods. Karuna, sorrow or grief. Veera, courageous or valorous. They are also used to denote various activities like aiming an arrow, playing a veena. The postures, positions and movements of the feet very naturally play a very important role in dancing. Alida Mandala, feet placed obliquely. Swastika Mandala, feet crossed at the ankles. The different charis, walks, not only make movement possible but also add beauty. Vegini, walking on either toes or heels. Luthitam, jumping by crossing the ankles. Traditionally, the aims of Indian arts are two: leading the practitioner and the beholder to spiritual realization. And to create rasa, that is aesthetic enjoyment of the creation of art. It is the Sattvika Abhinaya which is responsible for the creation of rasa in art. This Abhinaya is employed either in drama or in dance because of its capacity to imitate or reflect human nature. The universalized 8 sentiments, Ashtarasa, prescribed in the Natya Shastra for artistic representation are Shringara, love, enchantment; Hasya, laughter; Karuna, sorrow; Raudra, anger; Veera, courage; Bhayanaka, fear; Bibhatsa, disgust; Adbhuta, surprise. Traditionally, Indian dance has two major variations: Nritta, which is pure abstract dance, which does not project ideas or sentiments. And Nritya, which translates meanings and sentiments through dance. Classical dance is also of two varieties: Pandava, which is the vigorous type of dance chiefly performed by men, and Lasya, the delicate or Sukumara type of dancing mainly performed by women. This is the glorious tradition of Indian dance. Bharatanatyam is the glorious dance style from the southern state of Tamil Nadu. One cannot hazard a guess as to when it arose out of the soil of the Dravida culture. One finds references dating from the beginning of the Christian era to a very vigorous system of dance and music being practiced at the highest professional level in the Dravida country. And today's Bharatanatyam is the end product of this great tradition. What we call Bharatanatyam today was called Sadir some half a century ago. Traditionally, it was the proud privilege of the Devadasis, the servants of God, to practice this glorious art. The Devadasis were dedicated to the service of the deity of a particular temple, and they served the god by their exquisite music and dance. These Devadasis were servants of God, but they were great scholars, great experts of their art, and despite adverse conditions being prevalent in the country due to the alien rules, it is these Devadasis and their great spirit which have perpetuated this art, and we are the proud inheritors of it. Bharatanatyam used to be performed in the temples earlier in this century, but now it has been brought out on the concert stage. Bharatanatyam is a votive offering and as such has a tremendous spiritual background to it. The songs and dances would interpret the love between man and woman. But no, it is the love of the Bhakta, the devotee, for his supreme being, the Jivatma, for the Paramatma. This is the beautiful tradition of Bharatanatyam. The Bharatanatyam training lays a great stress on the very correct and well-defined lines that the entire body, especially the torso and the arms, have to maintain. The erect and upright position of the torso, the elegant stance of the shoulders thrown back, give it an angularity which is crisp at the same time attractive. The basic dance unit, step, is called Adavu. This term is derived from the word Ada, meaning to step. Thus, these precisely defined and mathematically calculated Adavus are based on the different positions and movements of the leg and foot prescribed in the ancient texts. The position and movements of the arms and the palms balance the movements of the legs and feet and create the atmosphere of precision and clarity. The present Bharatanatyam repertoire was designed by the famous Tanjavur quartet, sometimes in the 18th century, in the court of the Maratha kings. The traditional and standard repertoire starts with Alaripu, which literally means blossoming. The dancer transforms her entire body into a flower of votive offering at the feet of the Lord.
Dalang kutati kita tumta, tei da, tom kita takata, tei da, tom kita takadom, di tom kita takadi, ta tei kita takadom, di tom kita takadi, ta tei kita takadom, di tom tei ta tei dom, di tom tei ta tei, di tom tei ta tei dom, di tom tei ta tei. Ditam tei ta tei dom, ditam tei ta tei, ditam tei ta tei dom, ditam tei ta tei, ditam tei ta tei dom, ditam tei ta tei, ditam tei ta tei dom, ditam kita taka dei ta dei kita taka dom di ta kita taka dei ta dei kita taka dom di tam dei ta dei di tam dei ta dei dom di tam dei ta dei di tam dei ta dei dom di tam dei ta dei di tam dei ta dei dom di tam dei ta dei di tam dei ta dei dom di tam dei ta dei di tam dei ta dei dom di tam dei ta dei di tam dei ta dei dom di tam dei ta dei di tam dei ta dei da ta jam ta di kita taka ta jam ta di chaka ta di janna janna ku ta di ta di kita tum ta di kita tum taka di ku ta di kita tum diku taka diku taka taka diku taka diku taka taka diku taka diku taka taka dalla ku taka diku taka ta di kita tum ta dei dei da tam.
Varnam is the most elaborate item of the Bharatanatyam repertoire. In the Varnam, we have the emotive passage, which is called the Sahitya, the literature. We have the jatis, that is the string of rhythmic syllables, and the swaras. In this Varnam, one has the Naika. Naika representing the pining soul of the Bhakta, who wishes to be reunited with the Supreme Being. The Naika, the heroine, tells the Lord her deity, "Oh my Lord, why have you forsaken me? I love you so much. How is it that once when you used to love me, you used to speak endearments to me? Today you have forgotten me and you have turned away your face from me."
மாதேம் என்னும் யோஜனை ஏனடி மாதேம் என்னும் யோஜனை ஏனடி மதிமயங்குதல் வேணடி 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 மாதேம் என்னும் யோஜனை ஏனடி மதிமயங்குதல் வேண நீதரி தனி தனி தப மகரி கம பம் தப மப நித பத நிகம பத நித நிகரி தனி சரி தம பத நி சரி கதானி தப மகரி சாரி கமாதேம் என்னும் யோஜனை ஏனடி மதிமயங்குதல் வேணடி நீதரி தனி தனி தப மகரி கம பம் நித பத நிகம பத நித நிகரி தனி சரி தம பத நி சரி கதானி தப மகரி சாரி கமாதேம் இன்னும் யோஜனை ஏனடி மதிமயங்குதல் வேணடி மாதேம் என்னும் யோஜனை ஏனடி மதிமயங்குதல் வேணடி சொன்ன மொழி அனை கனவிலும் மறவேனே சொல்லவும் திறமைகளேதுமில்லை அண்ணாதி மன்னன் முனே இருந்து உறுதியில் மகிழ்வுடன் வருவான் விரைந்து செல்லடி மாதேம் இன்னும் யோஜனை ஏனடி மதிமயங்குதல் வேணடி மாதேம் இன்னும் யோஜனை ஏனடி மதிமயங்குதல் வேணடி சாரி நிரே தனி நிதப பகரி கரி கம பம பதனி தாரி நிரே தனி நிதப மபகரி கரி கம பம பதனி ஹரி தனி தானி தனி தப மகரி பப மகரி சாரி கம மகரி கம ப மனித பத நிதரி தனி தானி த பபதனி தாரி மதிமயக்கும் கல்வி நடி பாதி இன்னும் யோஜனை ஏனடி.
The traditional Bharatanatyam orchestra, Vadya Vrinda, is considered to be the most classical one. Leading the orchestra is the dance teacher, the Natuvanar, who wills the small cymbals, talam, and also recites all the rhythmic patterns, shollus.
Dalang kutaka de kutaka ta dikita dum jam tadita jagatadita jana jana kukundarita kundarita taka jam tadita jagatadita.
And then you have the vocalist who sings the various Sahitya pieces, that is, the songs.
ஊரலில் கட்டி வாய்புத்தி கெஞ்ச வைத்தாய், ஊரலில் கட்டி வாய்புத்தி கெஞ்ச வைத்தாய்.
The percussion instrument is versatile South Indian popular drum, mridangam, which has got very intricate rhythmic patterns. The other accompanying instruments are the flute, and the violin. Padam is a devotional song where the bhakta, devotee, pours his heart out, his love for the Lord. This padam is by the famous poet Shivan. The poet says, "O Yashoda, O great mother, what penance, what tapas have you done that the Lord of the 14 worlds, the Lord of the universe, calls you Amma, Mother?" He is wonderstruck. He says that once upon a time, when you were churning butter, your naughty son Krishna came running and wanted to eat it. When you refused, in a huff, he broke your pots. You were very angry when you saw that he was feeding the butter to the monkeys in the trees. You tied him up to a pestle, and he kept on begging to you, "Amma, please let me go." From high above the heavens, Brahma and Indra were looking down and they were wonderstruck because Krishna is none else than Vishnu. They kept on wondering and said, "Lo, Vishnu is crying, and that woman, that ordinary woman, she's tying him up with a rope." "O Yashoda, what tapas and what punya have you done that the Lord of the universe calls you Amma?"
அம்மா, என்ன தவம் செய்தனை, என்ன தவம் செய்தனை யசோதா, என்ன தவம் செய்தனை யசோதா. எங்கும் நீரை பரபிரம்மம் அம்மா என்றழைக்க என்ன தவம் செய்தனை. எங்கும் நீரை பரபிரம்மம் அம்மா என்றழைக்க என்ன தவம் செய்தனை. ஈரேழு புவனங்கள் படைத்தவனை புவனங்கள் படைத்தவனை கையிலேந்தி சீராட்டி பாலூட்டி தாலாட்ட கையிலேந்தி சீராட்டி பாலூட்டி தாலாட்ட தாயே என்ன தவம் செய்தனே யசோதா எங்கும் நீரை பரபிரம்மம் அம்மா என்றழைக்க என்ன தவம் செய்தனே உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்புத்தி கெஞ்ச வைத்தாய் உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்புத்தி கெஞ்ச வைத்தாய் கண்ணனை உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்புத்தி கெஞ்ச வைத்தாய் உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்புத்தி கெஞ்ச வைத்தாய் உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்புத்தி கெஞ்ச வைத்தாய் கண்ணனை உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்புத்தி கெஞ்ச வைத்தாய் 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 பிரமனும் இந்திரனும் மனதில் பொறாமை கொள்ள உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்புத்தி கெஞ்ச வைத்தாய் தாயே என்ன தவம் செய்தனே யசோதா எங்கும் நீரை பரபிரம்மம் அம்மா என்றழைக்க என்ன தவம் செய்தனே
This padam is addressed to Lord Shiva in his aspect as Nataraja, the king of dancers. The Bhakta is a very evolved soul. He is on par with the Lord and, in jest, tells the Lord, "What is all this, my Lord? Why are you so much in a huff with me? I, who knows all your secrets. I know that you never had sufficient land to stand upon with your 2 feet. So, at the great temple at Chidambaram, in the Golden Hall, you had to balance yourself on 1 foot, raising the other foot in the air." And then he says, "Don't I know that when you received the curse for having harmed a Brahman, you had to go around like a sannyasi, begging for throwaway food, and even then you had to keep on laughing? Look, I have never told this secret to anybody in the world, but you better not have these airs with me." All this the Bhakta is telling because his heart is overflowing with love and devotion for his Lord Nataraja.
ஏது கீத்தனை மோடிதான் உமக்கு ஏது கீத்தனை மோடிதான் உமக்கு எந்த மீதையா ஏது கீத்தனை மோடிதான் உமக்கு எந்த மீதையா சுவாமி இது கீதனை ஓடிதான் உமக்கு பாதி பிறையை ஜடைய தரித்து பரம நடி சரி ஏது கீதனை ஓடிதான் உமக்கு ஆடும் காலேடுக்கு அம்பலத்தில் நின்றேன் அதனை சொல்வேனோ ஆடும் காலேடுக்கு அம்பலத்தில் நின்றேன் அதனை சொல்வேனோ ஒற்றை மாட்டுக்காரன் என்று யாரோடாகிலும் வைமதம் சொன்னேனோ ஒற்றை மாட்டுக்காரன் என்று யாரோடாகிலும் வைமதம் சொன்னேனோ ஏது கீதனை ஓடிதான் உமக்கு அலையோட்டிலே இருந்து உண்டிருந்தது உண்மையை சொன்னேனோ தலையோட்டிலே இருந்து உண்டிருந்தது உண்மையை சொன்னேனோ தலையோட்டிலே இருந்து உண்டிருந்தது உண்மையை சொன்னேனோ பல்லை காட்டி மூப்புறத்தார் முன்னே நின்ற கதையும் எச்சில் உண்டதையும் சொன்னேனோ ஏது கீதனை ஓடிதான் உமக்கு எந்த மீதையா சுவாமி ஏது கீதனை ஓடிதான் உமக்கு
The Bharatanatyam recital ends with a scintillating Tilana, which is an item of pure dance. It is the joyous expression of the dancer's total involvement with his or her art.
Dim tam tom da tiranam tadaradani udanadim dim tanana dim tam tom da tiranam tadaradani udanadim dim tanana dim tam tom da tiranam tadaradani udanadim dim tanana dim tam tom da tiranam ததரதானி உதனதிம் தீம் தன்னனதீம் தாம் தொந்த திரன 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 ததரதானி உதனதிம் தீம் தன்னனதீம் தாம்